The world of work is changing, and it's changing faster than ever. So how in the world do you build a career that's not just going to survive, but actually thrive in 2026 and beyond? Well, in this explainer, we're going to break down a simple but really powerful blueprint for doing exactly that. Let's get right into it. It's the question on pretty much everyone's mind, right? You've got AI, you've got shifting markets, new technologies popping up every day. It's totally normal to feel a little anxious about what's coming next. But here's the thing. What if there was a clear, repeatable path to success? The good news is, there is. We're going to walk through a really simple 5-step blueprint that just cuts through all the noise. Think of it like a universal framework that you can apply to almost any field to build a super solid foundation for your future career. Okay, so here's the roadmap. First up, you identify a high-growth field. This makes sure you're swimming with the current, not fighting against it. Step 2, you build the specific in-demand skills companies are actually paying for right now. Step 3, and this one is so key, you create tangible proof of your work. Step 4 is all about networking authentically, because opportunities, they come from people. And finally, step 5, apply what you've learned and just get into that mindset of constant improvement. So theory is great and all, but let's see how this blueprint actually works in the real world. We're going to apply it to 5 high-growth career paths that you could literally start building towards today. First up, of course, the one everyone is talking about, AI and machine learning. The demand here is absolutely off the charts, making it a perfect example of a high-growth field. So, how do you apply the blueprint? Well, you start by building skills in Python and data science, maybe using online courses from places like Coursera or Udemy. Then, and this is the important part, you immediately turn that knowledge into proof. You don't just say you know AI, you show it by building a chatbot or a predictive model and putting it in your portfolio. And this quote right here really gets to the heart of it. The main takeaway is just the sheer scale of this explosion. This isn't just a trend for tech companies anymore. We're talking healthcare, finance, retail, you name it. Practically every industry is scrambling to find AI talent. All right, next up, another field that's basically born from our digital world. As everything, and I mean everything, moves online, the need to protect all that data becomes absolutely critical. And that's where the cybersecurity specialist comes in. The plan here is super hands-on. You learn the fundamentals, stuff like networking and Linux. Then you go get certifications to prove you know your stuff. And for your proof of work, you can practice on platforms like Hack the Box, or even find small freelance gigs doing security audits. The crucial point here is job security. Unlike a lot of other fields, cybersecurity actually has a massive talent shortage. The demand for skilled pros consistently outpaces the supply, which, let me tell you, is a fantastic position to be in when you're looking for a job. Okay, let's pivot a little bit from pure tech to the more creative side of the digital world. Digital marketing and content creation. This is the heart of how modern businesses connect with their customers today. So here, your skills are things like SEO and social media strategy. And the proof? Well, it's the content itself. You could start a TikTok or a YouTube channel, or even better, offer to help a local business with their online presence. Boom. That's an instant case study for your portfolio right there. This idea is just so central to the modern economy. Attention is the new currency, and businesses will pay top dollar for anyone who can capture it online, especially with engaging short-form content. It's really that simple. Next on our list is a foundational role that you might not always see, but you definitely interact with every single day: cloud and DevOps engineers. These are the folks who build and maintain the digital infrastructure that powers pretty much every app and website you use. So for this path, you'd probably focus on one of the big 3 cloud platforms: AWS, Azure, or Google Cloud. Getting a certification, something like the AWS Solutions Architect, is a really powerful piece of proof. Then you can solidify that by actually deploying your own applications on the cloud. And look, this isn't just a temporary trend. It is a fundamental shift in how businesses operate. The move to the cloud is still happening, which means the demand for people with these skills is stable, and it's just going to keep on growing. For our final example, let's look at the human side of technology. A UX/UI designer's job is basically to make sure that technology isn't just powerful, but it's also intuitive and, actually enjoyable to use. So here, you're learning tools like Figma and core design principles. And a fantastic way to build proof is to take an app you already use, one that you think could be better, and just redesign it. This shows potential employers not just your design skills, but your critical thinking and how you solve problems. And that's really the bottom line. In a super crowded digital world, a great user experience is one of the biggest competitive advantages a company can have. And that's why every company, from a tiny startup to a massive corporation, needs people with these skills. Okay, so we've seen the blueprint in action across 5 totally different fields. Now, let's boil all of this down into 4 universal rules that you can apply to basically any career path you choose. The single biggest shift you need to make is right here. The old way was relying solely on your degree, but the new way, it is all about proof of work. What can you actually do? What have you built? Your portfolio is now just as important, if not more important, than your diploma. So here are your 4 guiding principles. First, I don't care what field you're in, learn the AI tools that can make you better at your job. Second, like we just said, your portfolio is your new resume. Third, consistency is king. One focused hour every single day is so much more effective than cramming for 5 hours on a Sunday. And finally, network. Real opportunities come from people, not just from clicking apply on some job portal. So we've covered the framework, we've seen it in action, we've laid out the core principles for success. Now the focus really turns back to you. It's time to go from learning to actually doing. And really, this is the ultimate takeaway. We've given you the blueprint for building a modern career in just about any high-growth field. So the only question left is the most important one. What are you going to build first? Thanks for joining this explainer.